Hello, you're watching Thursday edition of News Mongolia. Today is April 28. For our top stories, outcomes of cabinet meeting, Mongolian event held at Stockholm Culture Night. The responsibility of media outlets is important in protecting children's rights. For other news, stay tuned. The responsibility of the media is important in creating a child-friendly environment. Experts warn that there are still cases of victims being harmed, such as the disclosure of the names and photographs of children who have been victims of crime.
A survey of 120 media outlets found that child rights violations were common on television and websites. When reporting on crime, children's homeschools are often publicly reported in detail.
In the context of child protection, what we need to do through the media, culture, and the public sector is, first of all, to pay more attention to education and prevention of child crime and the violation of children's rights. Some TV art content contains misconduct, arguing and insulting others. Children who watch such programs are more likely to develop narcissistic bullying.
Many of the problems children are facing today, many of which are discussed by parents and many representatives of the industry, are expected to be addressed by reforming the legal environment. During adolescence, children learn to imitate what they see and hear. Therefore, the responsibility of the media is important in developing them into responsible and ethical citizens.
The regular cabinet meeting was held on Wednesday, April 27th, and more than 20 issues were discussed during the meeting. At that cabinet meeting, information related to the construction of the Stockholm Road was presented. According to the report, all lots except Lot 4 are more than 90% complete.
The cabinet decided to add the general staff of the armed forces as an additional workforce to the construction areas where work is behind schedule. Butterton, Deputy Minister of Road and Transport Development, will lead the working group until the Stockholm Road construction is completed. Another outcome of the meeting is to discount the price of mutton by 250 Mongolian tugreks. The Minister of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry, Min provided some further clarification.
The cabinet meeting discussed two issues and has decided to provide 230 billion MNT loans at a 3% interest rate at flour and meat processing enterprises, and the government will support the difference of the 10.6% interest rate from the state budget. This can be understood as support for interest rate subsidies provided by the government to reduce the pressure on meat and flour prices.
The government has prepared 12.7 thousand tons of meat for domestic needs. The government has decided to provide a discount of 250 Mongolian tugreks for frozen mutton from the reserve fund, and meat processing companies will receive another discount of 100 tugreks, making a total of 350 tugreks as part of their social policy. Other issues discussed during the cabinet meeting include measures to be taken to prevent price increases and shortages of key food products, as well as draft law and amendments to the criminal code and others.
Now let's take a look at a report from our MNB correspondent in Sweden. A Mongolian event was held for Stockholm Culture Night. Around 130 cultural organizations took part in this year's annual Stockholm Cultural Night, which included an event promoting Mongolian culture.
This year, the Embassy of Mongolia in Sweden worked with the city of Stockholm to host a cultural night event with the theme of valuing Mongolian identity.
This event aims to promote Mongolian culture, tradition, and it was supported by Stockholm City Hall. We displayed a traditional Mongolian house or gear with all its furniture. Starting from 6 a.m., many suites and foreigners visited our gear displayed at the pavilion. We also held a Mongolian traditional clothing show, as well as showed our national script and an art exhibition. Foreign visitors were able to get their names written in the traditional Mongolian script.
The event was attended by representatives of the Mongolian Association in Sweden, cultural envoys, representatives of NGOs, and other special guests. The Mongolian event featured gears and pavilions promoting the history and heritage of Mongolia. Visitors were served traditional Mongolian dairy products and snacks. The Embassy of Mongolia thanked all of the Mongolian participants for their cooperation in promoting the rich culture, heritage, and development of Mongolia in Sweden and other Nordic states. From Stockholm, Sweden, Altar Hishik for MNB World.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.